The dream on Twitch. Twitchy. We have audio. All right. And recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
What pre-recorded interviews do you have for us this week?
We have pre-recorded interviews with Joe J. Thomas and Drew Jacobs.
Hooray!
Coming to you live from earlier this morning. Welcome to episode 687 of the Funny Music Podcast for August 17th, 2023. The title of this week's episode is A Descriptive Wall, which I will put in the chat, which Luke can't read because he's driving, but we're going to try. So, yeah, let's do the catch-up thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, yesterday in my apartment, we had a party to celebrate the 40th birthday of Mr. Tony Goldmark.
Woo, Tony!
Yeah, so we had barbecue. We were hanging out by the pool. Tony's dad showed up for it, and it's the first time I've seen him in person since like 2004, 2005, something like that. So that was nice. And yeah, we hung out. Later in the evening, we watched some videos and played some games and just had a good old time. So that was cool. Earlier this week, for the first time in 5 months, I got my act together and put out a Luke Skeet update so that I could report on all the things that I should have reported on much earlier. And it just kind of, served as a reminder to me that even if there's nothing astounding happening, I should still be putting out one of these every 3 months-ish or so, instead of waiting that long, because then it just turns into literally an all day into the night project just to make sure I've gathered all the information and everything. But, I'll go more into that during Funny Music News time. I am currently driving back from one of my, what they call dynamic shifts, which basically means I take a whole lot of product and drive 60 to 90 minutes away from the depot in Van Nuys to another part of the greater Los Angeles area, and then just drive around out there and make deliveries to people based on what's available in my trunk. And then I start driving back. So basically this was, I didn't want to make Devo wait until I got all the way back to my apartment so that he can get to bed earlier. So we managed to figure out, once we got to a place with decent signal, my phone started working properly with my car so that we could actually do this. So I don't know how that happens, but yeah. I don't want to say, I don't want to spoil the surprise just yet, but we have figured out who the music guest of honor will be for MarsCon 2024.
Nice.
We haven't as far, and I'm assuming I already told you who I was trying to get, Devo. So that is the person we got.
You did, but I forgot who that was. So.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll tell you when we're not recording a thing, so you don't have to edit it out.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we need to wait for the person's agent to talk to the con staff and figure out whatever their version of signing the contract is, blah blah blah, to make it officially booked. And then once that happens, I'd like to figure out a nifty, cute, clever way to make the announcement. So yeah, I'm happy that was figured out. And I guess I'll just save more info on that for when it's relevant. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can think of for, things that happened this week. So what have you been up to?
Well, first of all, the reason there was no show on Thursday and Luke and I are now recording a makeup episode on Saturday is because I've been out of town. earlier this summer, my son Darren said he wanted me to take him to King's Dominion, and I was all for it because I love me some roller coasters. So we sat down and we kind of mapped it out. We figured out like when is a good time, because he needed 2 weeks to give work notice so he could take some days off, and so did I. And so the plan was Sunday night we would drive down to Virginia, hit King's Dominion on Monday, Six Flags America on Tuesday, and then the original plan was drive home Wednesday and then go to Six Flags Great Adventure on Thursday. And then while we were in Virginia, I was looking at the map on the way back trying to figure out how far things were, just so we could figure out what time to get up in the morning. And I'm like, wait a minute, Wednesday morning we're going to leave and we're going to drive right past Great Adventure on the way home. I was like, why don't we just do Great Adventure on Wednesday, like on the way home, and that'll free up Thursday. And he goes, okay, so why don't we go to Six Flags New England on Thursday? And I'm like, sure, why not? Because we have the Six Flags passes, so it doesn't cost us anything.
Okay.
To go to all the Six Flags. King's Dominion is not a Six Flags, so we had to buy tickets for that, but that was the only one. Everything else was just included. So I haven't been to King's Dominion since my honeymoon. Jen and I drove down to Virginia Beach in 2001, went to King's Dominion and Busch Gardens on the way back. And so it's been over 20 years since I've been to King's Dominion, and they have a lot of new roller coasters that were lots of fun. The two I want to mention, one is called the Intimidator 305, because the lift hill goes up 305 feet and then drops you. And at the bottom of that hill, apparently the train hits about 90 miles an hour as it goes along this big, sweeping right turn, and then it goes up and over a hill. And Darren and I both nearly blacked out on that coaster. Yeah, we got off it. He's talking to me, and he goes, I was seeing these black splots in my eye, and I'm like, me too. Yep. And then the other one is an RMC coaster called Twisted Timbers, which was freaking wild. The first drop of that coaster is upside down. It literally, you go over this hill, and it banks to the right and then twists you, and by the time you're all the way around to the right, you're now upside down, and then it goes down the hill, and then it twists you the rest of the way, so that at the bottom of the hill you're right side up. And that train makes all kinds of weird turns and things, and it's impossible to tell where you're going at any given moment, and it's a wild ride. So we had a lot of fun at King's Dominion. Hit Six Flags America on Tuesday. That's a much smaller park, and there was nobody there. There were like no lines at all for anything. And we managed to hit all the roller coasters except one that was temporarily closed in an hour and 45 minutes. We did the entire park in almost 2 hours. So
that's nice.
Then we hit a couple other things a second time, and then that roller coaster that was closed opened up, so we managed to get on that. And then at like 3:00, it just started raining, and we looked at the app, and it was supposed to rain all the rest of the afternoon, and we had done everything in the park we wanted to do. And Darren was like, "Let's just go back to the hotel." And I was like, "Okay, sure." Wednesday we hit Great Adventure, which is the local park here in southern New Jersey, and we go there all the time. So that this was just basically like a courtesy stop. It's like, hey, let's hit Great Adventure. We'll do this, and we'll hit Nitro. We'll hit El Toro if it's open. And El Toro was open, thankfully, so we got to go on that. And I actually ran into a friend of mine there. One of my friend Eddie from my acting class was there with his girlfriend and her kids. So that was an unexpected surprise, especially since I didn't have my glasses on at the time. So we were getting in line for El Toro, and El Toro is this giant, insane wooden roller coaster, and they insist that you empty your pockets, and you're not allowed to have anything that could possibly come off of your body on this ride. So obviously I can't wear my glasses, so we got a locker and put everything in it, and I'm walking up the hill without my glasses on, and I am fucking blind without my glasses. And so I'm walking up the hill, and I see this blur of a shape in front of me, like looking at me. And I thought he was looking behind me because I'm like, whatever. And then I got close, and I got like within 3 feet of him, and I'm like, Eddie! He was like, what's up? So that was cool. And then Thursday we did Six Flags New England, which the park that will always be Riverside. To me, that's in Massachusetts, and that was the only park that had lines. Like, it was crowded, and it was a Thursday, and it was crowded, and I don't know whether it was just this park or what, but there were 20 to 30 minute lines for everything. But so we managed to get on everything we wanted to do, and so it still had fun. So, and then that was why we didn't have a FuMPCast on Thursday night, because I was in Massachusetts going upside down several times. So the other bit of news that I haven't talked about on this show yet is that short film I made, Room 259, was selected for a film festival. So, yeah.
Awesome.
I'm excited, really freaking excited about this. The Jersey City Horror Film Festival made it an official selection. So this is taking place August 27th at the Brightside Tavern in Jersey City. So I will be going. Nicole, who plays the ghost in the movie, will be there. So they're going to show my short and then 5 other shorts, and then there's going to be a Q&A with the filmmakers afterwards. I'm excited. And I just found out today it's been accepted to a second festival, which is happening in October. So, yeah, I don't have all the details on that one yet. But if anybody in the northern New Jersey area wants to come to this, you can buy tickets for the showing at filmfreeway.com. Just click where it says Browse Festivals and search for the Jersey City Horror Film Festival. It's not hard to find. And then you can buy tickets right from there. I'm in Block 2, which starts at 2:30 in the afternoon. You'll see it. The name of the short is Room 259. So I am stupidly excited for this, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
And you already have the red carpet photos taken care of, so you don't need to worry about that part.
Yes. There's probably going to be like a real one there, so we might be able to do more. I don't know. All right. So, Wildcard subscribed using his Amazon subscription again, 32 months in a row. Thank you, Wildcard. All right. Woo! Let's get into some music. Doing Joe J. Thomas first because that's the order I interviewed them in, and my interview with Drew Jacobs calls back to the Joe interview. So that's
hey. While those are playing, can you pull up the email update I sent off so that we can incorporate it into the news?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
I will find it. All right, here is the latest song by Joe J. Thomas, Decide, Cat Song.
Yowlin', 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 hear them cats a howlin'. Can't they quit that meowin' inside? Wave a stick that has a feather and chase for toys with leather, thinking they're a tiny lion pride. Them little kitty kisses, murder beans and hisses, look at 'em shaking their backsides. Let 'em out! Put 'em in! Let 'em out! Decide! Put 'em out! Let 'em in! Put 'em out! Why can't you decide? Feedin', while their paws are kneadin', caused a little bleedin' my thigh. Them cats is always eatin', lickin', runnin', sleepin'. Don't ask 'cause I really don't know why. I'm a slave to their desires. It's making me real tired. The smell from the litter box is high. Scoop it out. Fill the bowl. Let them out. Decide. Take a rest. Brush the fur. What the hell? Why won't you decide? Blowin', blowin', blowin'. There's a snowstorm snowin'. Ain't no cats a-goin' outside. I hear them kitties comin'. Through the house they're runnin'. Underneath the covers they will hide. It's warmer in my bedroom. They'll be sleeping on my head soon. They treat me like a magic carpet ride. Snuggle up, crazy now. Settle down, wanna sleep, decide, on my feet, take a rest, I love you, now just please decide. Yeah! Round up them kitties, yeah! Come on, kitties. Aw, ain't you cute? Yeah!
I'm here with Joe J. Thomas. How you doing, Joe?
It's early here.
It's early here too. It's earlier for you than me, but it's early for me.
Yeah, this is like the first of 2 days where I have to get up early. Tomorrow I have to get up like a half hour before this because I've got a global improv team, and some of them are in Australia and some are in. Anyway.
Nice. So you guys do meetings over Zoom or something?
Yeah, it started during the pandemic, and it kind of stuck. This is with a place out of North Carolina, and it's interesting. They have like a whole set of global teams that are just from we've got people from probably 5 countries. And of course, when I'm in Spain, it works out because the time zone is like 2:30, but in LA, it's like 5:30 that we start. And so I'm like, I'm ready for improv. Yeah.
I'm sure you're at the peak of your game at 5:30 in the morning doing improv.
I'm very funny, but not for the reasons I intend.
Nice. All right, so tell us about this song you posted.
Well, I was listening. I stumbled on the song Rawhide, and I'm like, oh, well, this is cool. So I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, I don't see any major parodies of it. So let's do a parody of Rawhide. And it started out as a mockery of bowling in Cleveland. And it ended up being a song about cats sung by somebody who sounds like Charlton Heston. So I don't know, because I'm pretty sure Charlton Heston didn't do country songs. But I currently don't have a cat in my life, but I have tons of friends that do, and I've probably had over a dozen over the years. So I'm intimately familiar with their bizarre quirkinesses.
Yeah, I've never had a cat because of my allergies, but even I'm familiar with what you mentioned in the song just from going over to friends' houses. And
yeah,
like they let, the cat begs to be let out. They open the door, the cat goes out, they close the door, the cat turns around and wants to come back in. I'm like,
yeah. Oh, I don't want this food. That's your food. It's the same food you had yesterday.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want it. It's like, dogs are like, I'll eat anything you put in front of me.
Yeah. Or anything that they drop on the floor, or anything they poop out themselves. They're just
lint, dead bugs. Yeah, they'll eat anything. Yeah. So it's from personal experience, but again, by the end of the song, the guy in the song loves cats, and I actually love cats. I probably need another one now that we're thinking about like our construction project's moving along. So at some point we will have like a place, and then we can have a cat for the place.
Yeah, you should probably wait till the construction is done before you get the cat, because otherwise you can end up like walling him in the wall somewhere.
One of my exes, we lived in a place where it was constantly under construction, and at one point we heard this meow meow, and it was like, where's the cat? And the cat had like gotten up into a crawl space and then into a wall somewhere. And fortunately, since it was all under construction, we're like, well, we'll just take this part of the wall off. There's the cat.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So yeah, since you mentioned Rawhide parodies, I was trying to think because I know I've heard one, and I was trying to think of what it was, and it just occurred to me. I don't remember who does it, but there's a song about fishing called Walleye.
Oh, okay.
I know that's been played on Dr. Demento a few times, but that's the only other one I can think of. And for such an like iconic song, you'd think there would be lots of parodies of it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's short. I added a verse, but the original only has 2 verses. It's got that nice catchy part, move him out, get him up, move him out, get him up. And they're like, oh, wow, that's great. This is perfect for a parody. So now I have to look up Walleye. And I don't know why my search didn't turn up anything, but usually I search on YouTube, so maybe it's an older song.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a video or a fan video for it, but and it's tough to you can't really search the Dr. Demento archive with parody of this song because all you have is artist and title. So if you don't know either of those,
I love the Dr. Demento database. It's just it's so handy to find things. I the other day I had a song running through my head, and it's the now I can't and I'm like, wow, everybody knows that song.
What is it?
What the hell is it? What the hell is it? So I'm searching, I'm doing da 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 da. I'm like, what the hell? So I ended up using like Google's "What's this song?" and humming it. And the first 8 times, it didn't have any idea what I was doing. And then finally, the 9th, it's like, maybe you mean this. There's a 5% chance, and I like, that's it. Summer, not bossa nova, summer samba. That's what it's called. I'm like, okay, yeah. In case anybody else needs to know, that's
what that song is. Yes,
that is Summer Samba.
And if that little bit of you singing it gets a copyright strike on YouTube, I will be very surprised. So,
stranger things have happened. I mean, it's I've posted some songs where it's really popular, no copyright strikes, and or no copyright notice at all, and then Bob Dylan, anything. I posted one thing by Bob Dylan, and they actually said, you can't play this at all. It's not just you can't make money off it. It's no, Bob's not going to let you do that. Like, Bob, please, come on. So,
well, we'll see what happens with the other song this week because that's a Dylan parody. So,
wow.
I don't know if it's a parody of one of his songs. I know it's supposed to sound like a Dylan song, but I don't know if it's a direct parody or not. I don't think it is.
I thought it was brilliant though, because I had no idea that Dylan had multiple albums of Sinatra, because when the first one came out, actually, this is where I got my copyright thing. I didn't put out a parody of his song. I put out Dylan and Sinatra and Bob Goulet, who's got this voice, singing the same song. And I split the song up into verses and did Dylan, then Sinatra, then Goulet, and then another round of Dylan, Sinatra, and Goulet. And just to demonstrate, this is 3 ways you can sing this song, and you probably never want to sing it like the first way. and it's like a day later, no, you can't do that. It's a review of a song? How about that? No, that doesn't count either. So
the ones that amuse me are like, and I know it's not the artist, but like, because they post a song through CD Baby and they have their own thing and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, we had like TV's Kyle on one day and we interviewed him about the song he posted, and then we put it up on YouTube, and there's a copyright flag on this song because TV's Kyle. I'm like, he's on the show. Like, he's there.
Oh my God. and who are they checking with aside from the AI to say this is a copyright thing? And then but they should be referring back to either the FuMP or TV's Kyle, right?
Yes, they should. They don't, but they should.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had my own songs flagged by me, apparently,
Yeah. So maybe I'll meet Bob Dylan someday and I'll go, Bob, what's with the copyright thing? He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Probably.
It's not
yeah.
me, man.
Yeah.
You can use it. Just take my name. Here, I'll record it for you. I'm sure he's a really cool guy, It's just, and I like most of his stuff, just not the Sinatra stuff. So.
Yeah, it's probably all of his very highly paid attorneys, justifying their existence.
We got this. Don't worry about it. You're
Right.
You're safe. You are so safe. No one will ever hear from you again.
Right. All right. So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Just the usual. Joe's Dump, joesdump.com, has my music and other odd stuff, which it's been mostly music for a while, so maybe I'll just change it to like Joe's Badly Sung Dump or Joe's Dump Song, joesdumpsongs.com. Maybe I'll get a new domain or something.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck with the improv tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Catch you later.
Okay. Bye.
This is the FuMP.
I'm the ruffinest, tuffinest, grumpinest, and when the dang long-eared galoot acts up, I've had enough of this. Bladder splatting, razor pat, hat, and all that, and my red mustache and beard on this gruffiness. I reckon y'all better keep back, cause I'm playing.
It's candid camera, let's scream and smile. You'll see it all on VHS. Aliens have landed, and they're a little hostile. You'll see it all on VHS.
Need all of my horses, cakes, them Twinkies, ding dong zebras. These ho-hos only like me for one reason, and that's because
I got sacks, Reese's Pieces.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. TheFUMP.com.
Feel like I'm gonna puke cause the timeline is screwed. Do I fix all this now or wait till season 2? There's a hell of a ride, but the purpose is glorious.
Multiverse. Fight.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, the FuMP checkout form is back on the site, so now you should be able to buy things again.
Hooray, buying things!
And along those same lines, the shopping cart on FuMPFest.com has been fixed, so you should be able to buy things again.
Woo!
Thank you to Christy for pointing out that it was broken. What happened was my host upgraded the PHP version running on the website, and that deprecated one of the commands I was using. And I thought I had fixed them all, and I missed a couple. So I missed one on the shopping cart page, unfortunately. So that broke the page. So it's been fixed. It's all working now.
Come to the FuMP. Our humor is self-deprecating.
Yes. The FuMP volumes 98 and 99 are not yet up on Spotify, and I found out today that there were some issues with the way I named the song. So it's this thing all over again. So I will be fixing that and getting them up on Spotify. I just had a question because I couldn't figure out how to do what they were asking me to do. I did fix volume 57, or no, 57. I resubmitted 57 some time ago. And so that should be showing up soon. And then 98 and 99 should go up whenever I can fix the titles and artists and stuff. And then I had to find, somebody emailed me today saying, hey, Stupid Cowboy Thing Volume 2 is no longer on Spotify. What happened? And I was like, what? So, sure enough, it's not on Spotify anymore. And I can't for the life of me figure out why, because there's no parodies on that song. There's no copyrighted music on that album. So I reached out to Songcast, asked them to reach out to Spotify for like, what the fuck? Let's do this. So hopefully that will be back. Such a pain in the ass. I do not understand why this is so complicated. It's just, all right. 2D6's Kickstarter is up to $1,156 of their $2,700 goal, so they are like 43-ish%, something like that. If you would like to get involved, go to Kickstarter.com and search for 2D6. This is their 9th album, which is called Live at Casa Budog Skull. Something to that effect. All right. Some FuMPFest news. I sent out an email blast today. If you did not get it, that means you're probably not on our mailing list. You can sign up for our mailing list at FuMPFest.com, and I highly suggest you do so you can be up to date on all the news and stuff that's happening. And we talked about my short film Room 259 earlier. I'm going to bring back movie time at FuMPFest so I can screen it at FuMPFest. So there will be a screening of my horror short at FuMPFest. Also, I am hard at work on a second short, and this one's a comedy. With any luck, I will have it done by FuMPFest. So we can screen that too if it's done. So hopefully.
Is that the one that you and I had the phone conversation about?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
Reminder, we are having a video contest this year. In 2021, we only had one entry, so that was the winner. You too can be a winner if you just enter something. So make a video, folks, and we'll see what happens. If you have not registered, go to FuMPFest.com, click on the register button, and it will take you over to ConOnTheCob.com where you can actually register. And just a reminder, the FuMPFest 2021 compilation is available for sale. It's 2 CDs worth of awesomeness recorded at 2021. And now that the shopping cart is actually working on FuMPFest.com, you can actually buy it. And I have proof that it's working because somebody bought one today. Christy bought one. Here's your CD, Christy. It'll go out on Monday. Thank you for pointing that out to me and CD, see? All right.
But Devo Spice, I already have that 2 CD set, and that is not enough content from FuMPFest 2021. How can I get a third disc full of more content from FuMPFest 2021 to listen to, sir?
Well, I'm glad you asked. When you register for FuMPFest, you can buy the badge that will get you Volume 3 of the compilation. That it would be the swag bag that has all sorts of cool stuff in it. And so one of the cool things in the swag bag is Volume 3 of the 2021 FuMPFest compilation. There will also be an actual bathroom tile from my bathroom renovation that you can have the Cirque du Soleil people sign, because I have a pile of tile upstairs in my closet and I got nothing else to do with it, so that it's going in the swag bag. All right. Luke Ski sent out an update the other day.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to recap the whole thing. If you can just kind of remind me what the headlines are, and I'll talk about stuff I think is important.
Sure.
Or whatever.
So, entire main Luke Ski discography is now on Spotify and other services.
Hooray, that's the thing.
Coming very soon, the Luke Ski Top 50 poll for 2023.
Yes, and I have made 2 Spotify playlists to aid people in listening to all of my stuff. One of them is basically all of the tracks I have on Spotify, from everywhere, including some of the FuMP tracks, that didn't make it onto other CDs of mine, etc. I just wanted to make the complete, mostly chronological thing. So that one is listed as Luke Ski discography or whatever on Spotify. I've posted links to it. But then if somebody's I just want to hear the tracks that are going to be a part of this poll so that you can get them fresh in your memory, I made a version of that same chronological playlist, but just cut out all of the interstitial tracks and other stuff. So that the full length version is 15 hours and something minutes, and the shorter version is 11 hours and something minutes. So,
yes. So yeah, the short version is 11 hours.
Look, I've made 165 songs or more, so it's a thing. So I was letting everybody know about that. So if you're looking for something to listen to and want to get this all fresh in your head, so that whenever I get around to posting this thing, which I want to have it done by the end of the first week of September at the latest. I want to have the thing up for people to vote for stuff. Yeah, it's a thing. So that's what those are about.
All right.
Yeah, what else is on the update?
Psycho Potpourri excerpts and other stuff. Digital album exists.
Yeah, I won't re-explain what it all is because that was the majority of last week's episode. But yeah, they finally got the thing up like the day after we did that episode. It's like, damn it! It's like I planned this for like, and you had to wait. You had to mess with the titles and the things and the stuff. So whatever, but it's out there now, and I'm happy that it is. So yeah, you can go check that out on Spotify and all the other places I mentioned last week.
Spam, Let the Pork Be Pork 2023 edition for free download on the FuMP.
It's still on the main page of the FuMP. You can still download it for free. Yay.
Tour date, FuMPFest 2023.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a thing, and then I also I plugged the album.
Yep, you plugged the album and the podcast, Luke and Carrie's Bad Rapport, number 142.
Yes, I have 143. Like, we recorded everything. I just haven't had the time to edit it yet. So, yeah, feel free, if you haven't listened to it already, listen to episode 142, and then 143 is coming also, hopefully, within the next couple weeks.
And Kyle and Luke talk about tunes, a whole bunch of episodes listed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these emails have so much picture and text, it's kind of like a descriptive wall.
Where's the... Wait a minute. Where's the... There it is. I couldn't find the button. All right. Funny Music Podcast, Escape from Walt Disney, Doggins presents a singular cinema, subsequently Haunted Mansion.
Did you watch that?
No, I didn't. But I remember them talking about that on Tony's podcast, and it took me a second to realize a singular cinema subsequently is like a renaming of one movie later.
Yeah, because that's exactly what the format is. It's one movie later.
Yeah.
So Tony has kind of passed the torch onto Doggins if Doggins ever wants to make more of those down the line. But yeah, it's like Doggins did a huge video, not this one, the one he did before this one is a literally 3.5 hour long video covering every adaptation of the Haunted Mansion, like books, comics, the Eddie Murphy movie, the Muppet special, all kinds of stuff, media that's been out there for years about Haunted Mansion. He covers it in its thorough entirety. And then after that, we did this whole one movie later thing with Haunted Mansion. So, but yeah, it's fun. So go check out that video on Doggins's page. It's Doggans is his name if you're going to Google it, and I believe Doggins.com is his main website. So that's a thing. Podcast
without a cool acronym.
Yeah, that's from a few months back. The one I did with the creators of Ghost of Molly McGee, and then my friend Chandler, who hosts that show, made the video to go with that song. I am going to do a proper recording of that song and post it on the FuMP when it's around Halloween time. So we'll talk about that when that comes up.
All right, commission a cartoon from Luke Ski.
That's still a thing. I have a commission I need to finish up, and I also might be starting a new animatic for the TA Games people. So, but again, if you can go to luke.ski/art if you want to check out other stuff of mine, and or just reach out to me on social media if you want to commission some piece of cartooning artwork from me.
And then random miscellaneous things. You want me to go through this or not?
Yeah, there's just 3 things, right? Or whatever said.
There's Dork Fried Rice, Steam Cog covers I Like Bananas Because They Have No Bones, your 3 CD Dr. Demento compilation album, and then Bonnie Gordon.
And then I plug Bonnie's album because it's an awesome album and I want people to hear it. So yeah, that's it. That's all the things.
Yeah.
Thank you, Devo.
All righty. Tour dates. On Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird, but not while he's in Edinburgh. On Sundays online, Two Sleeps. On Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. On the 20th in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, Carla Ulbrich. On the 25th online, Mikey Mason. On the 26th in Oakland, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. And on the 29th online, Carla Ulbrich will be a guest on the Virtual Comedy Show with Steve Goody and Brad Tassel. All right. Birthdays. On the 17th, which is when we should have recorded this show, was Amy Engelhardt. And yesterday was Tony Goldmark's birthday, the 18th. Happy birthday, folks.
Woo! Also happens to be the birthday of Blasted Bill Putt and John Bermuda Schwartz.
Hey, happy birthday, guys. All right, second song of the week from Drew Jacobs' new live album. Here is Dylan's Just Screwin' With You.
Early in 1962, Bob Dylan came on the scene. Denim jacket and a folk guitar is like a Jewish James Dean. His music made the people swoon. He was singing for you and me. Somebody said he was the second coming of a cat named Guthrie. A couple of years later, he broke our hearts. He went electric. He had some nerve. That would not be the last time the boy'd be throwing us a curve. That's a fine how do you do. Dylan's just screwing with you. Well, he went and crashed his motorbike. He said he almost hit a tree. Took a couple of years to get his head together. Then the boy went country, singing lay, lady, lay, like Kermit the Frog. Was that really so surprising? He went and changed all his songs around so no one would recognize him. The next thing you know, he's born again. Everyone was shocked. That only lasted 3 albums or so, but Jesus, he really rocked. We bought those too. Dylan's just screwing with you. We'll skip to the last verse. Well, never-ending tours all over the world, you know he's really on a roll. Selling IBM and Victoria's Secret and Chrysler in the Super Bowl. Singing Santa Claus is coming to town. Well, I'm guessing he's still saved. He's got 3 albums of Sinatra songs and Frank's spinning in his grave. A couple of years ago, they finally decided to give him the Nobel Prize. You think he'd show up to get it? Was that really such a surprise? He had something better to do. Dylan's just screwing with you. He's screwing with you. Screwing with me too. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm here with Drew Jacobs. How you doing, Drew?
I'm doing great, Devo. How are you?
Good. So I was just talking with Joe J. Thomas, who was talking about how every time he's posted a Bob Dylan parody, he's had it taken down off of YouTube, like immediately. So like, tell us about this song and how it's going to get this show taken down off of YouTube.
Well, I've had the song for a couple of years and performed it live. And I actually have a version of it I think on YouTube. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's on YouTube. That I recorded. Boy, got to be 5 years ago or so by now. And it hasn't been taken down yet.
All right, good. So there's hope.
Yeah, so there's hope. Our fingers are crossed, you know. But like I said, I've had it for years and never recorded it. Then on my new CD, which is a live CD, I wanted to get it, you know, get a recording of it for posterity. And so it just all worked out well so far. So our fingers are crossed again.
Nice. So where was the recording done for this album?
Recording was done. The local NPR radio station WAMC here in upstate New York in Albany is a powerhouse. They have, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7, or I don't know how many different repeaters that take them from north to, I think, to Plattsburgh, west to Utica, into the Berkshires, into Massachusetts, south into the Hudson Valley. And they have, as part of their group, a very nice concert hall. It's an old bank building that they made a concert hall, and so I was working from home, and every once in a while when I'm working from home, I'll post an album cover of something I'm listening to here in the office. And one day I said, at home, work at home listening, and I posted a Nitty Gritty Dirt Band album. The guy who runs the Linda, which is the hall, texted me and said, "Hey, John McEwen, who's the banjo player from the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, is coming to town." And I said, "Great. Does he need a opening act?" He said, "Let me check." The next thing you know, I got booked for the opening act.
Nice.
And what they do is they record the shows and then air them on the radio station.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I did about 35 minutes or so. They aired it on the station a couple of times, and they said, "Do you want the tape?" Do I want the tape? Yeah. It's not too often that you get a good quality concert recording for free.
Yeah.
So I said, "Yeah, I'd love to put it out." They said, "Well, you can put it out, but you can't make any money on it." I said, "Well, that's perfect, because I never make any money." That should not be a problem. So what we did was we took the tapes. I brought them to a recording studio that I've worked with in the past locally here, Highland Recording, and we edited them down. Did some EQing and all the magic that they're able to do there. and then put it out as both a CD as well as an online through Bandcamp. You can download it, any of the songs or the whole CD, for free. So keeping in good faith, the cost that it that it takes for studio time to master the thing, to physically print the CDs and put together artwork, there's no way I'm going to make any money back. So.
Right. Yes,
So,
I'm familiar with that math.
Yeah. So it's, you don't do it to make, as I've learned over these many years, you don't do it to make any money. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get the material out there. I wanted to be able to send it to radio stations, to be able to send it to potentially bookers and things like that. And get it out, and free is fine at this point. At this point in time, it just it's an investment in the art, for lack of a better, an artist. It costs an artist who paints money for paints and canvas and frames and all that kind of stuff. Well, this is what it costs, as you well know, to be a musical artist, as it were. So far I got a nice review from a website, New York State Music, that does local music scene across the state, and so that's been some nice feedback. And of course, the FuMP, Dr. Demento played the song a couple of weeks ago as well. And it's getting little bits and pieces of play, but it's always been a concert favorite
Mhm.
when I play it out, because people who are of my vintage, a lot of them are Dylan fans, and they get all the references of the as I say, it's Bob Dylan's 60+ year career distilled in 2 minutes and 42 seconds. So it worked
My
out.
father was a big Bob Dylan fan when I was growing
Oh,
up,
yeah.
so I got to hear a lot of his music around the house. He used to listen to him a lot
Yeah.
while he was working on stuff, and so I'm
It,
familiar.
yeah, and it's funny. I'm a Dylan fan. I've seen him a bunch of times. It's I'm not so deep into the poetry of him. I like the sound. I like the sound he makes, which might put me in a minority, but
I
but
think it does. Yeah.
but it's just as whether he's even the Sinatra stuff that he did recently, if you really listen to it, yeah, I get it. I get what he's doing. I mean, he's trying to pay respect to the songs as best as he can, and he's a unique personality, to say the least.
Joe mentioned the Sinatra stuff too. I'm not familiar with the Sinatra stuff. I'm gonna have to look that up because I'm very curious now.
Yeah, it's there are a couple of CDs that single CDs, and then he put out, although I didn't go that crazy, I didn't buy it. He put out like a 3 CD set of Sinatra. So it's not just Sinatra, it's standards as well. I think the
Mhm.
3 CD set is maybe all Sinatra, but it's a lot of standards. The other one that I really truly love is his Christmas CD. If you've ever heard Bob Dylan, doing Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
I'm pretty sure my father has that one, so I think I've heard that one.
Yeah, I'm only allowed to play it when my wife's not home. So
Well, that's the rule in my house for most of my music is, so that's why I have this, basement area where it's like my safe space where I can play
Right.
whatever I want while, I'm over there stuffing FuMP CDs and I'm blasting Cannibal Corpse off of my studio, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
plugin. Not just the CD. I would say it's the whole CD is called "Get Your Ha-Has Out," which of course is a play off the Rolling Stones' "Get Your Ya-Ya's Out," their live album from back in the '60s. The guy who I worked with, the engineer, said, our it's kind of a very specific push at a specific demographic. I said, yeah, well, that is my demographic
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm not worried about, kids not knowing what the reference is,
Yeah.
and I wanted, the artwork, I wanted to look like the old Hullabaloo TV show, which you may or may not be familiar with, in the '60s, was a music show on, I think, ABC. And they had a very specific bubble Cooper Black kind of lettering. And so the artist I hired, I said, here's what I want. And she nailed it just perfectly. So it's free. You can go to my website, drewjacobs.com, and there's a link there that'll take you to Bandcamp. And you can download it for free or download individual songs. The nice thing that I like about the way we put the CD together is each cut is individual. So there's stand-up comedy as well as music, but you don't have to listen to the stand-up comedy cut to get to the music. It's their individual cuts, and it's seamless. So there's no like half a second of dead air before the song comes in. It just plays right through if that's what you want to, if that's the way you want to listen to it. And I try to do that for potential radio play as well, so that they don't have to weed their way through 2 minutes of
Right.
stand-up to get to the song.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's something I always wanted to do a live CD with both my stand-up stuff, and all the stand-up stuff kind of plays into the songs. So it's not like I'm talking about something else and okay, here's a song about this over here. So it kind of I think it flows pretty well. I'm pleased with it anyhow. So it was a lot of fun. So I'm promoting that at drewjacobs.com. It doesn't cost anything, so nothing to buy, no salesman will call. And I say, if you don't like it, I'll cheerfully refund your purchase price.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
We will catch you next time.
Excellent. Thanks, Devo.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. Feedback. You know that segment of the show we do about now? Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback. I thought you went into your house and forgot your phone in the car. And now I don't know if he can hear me. Well, he's sitting in his car. Anyway, feedback. This one.
Lee, let's sing a song about Lee, let's sing a song about Lee, you're testing my ADD.
Eclectic Lee wrote, I am still taking notes for the eventual update of the FuMPFest guest database. Yes, however, since the FuMPCast started out as an audio-only podcast, I'm afraid Star-Lord is going to have to make a vocalization to get counted as a guest. Sorry, I don't make the rules, I just make the rules. He followed that up with, I will take responsibility for not specifically pointing out to Devo that I removed... Yes, softly. I can hear you barely. So, Lee's second comment, I will take responsibility for not specifically pointing out to Devo that I removed Steve Goody's Bluebird Cafe dates in the newsletter this month while he's in Scotland. But yes, he and Brad are still doing the virtual comedy show while they're in Scotland. I will not take responsibility for him saying the COG is performing in Metairie, California, when it clearly says Metairie, Louisiana. He can face Dr. Pinkerton's wrath on his own. Yeah, I caught that when I listened back to last week's show. I don't know why I saw, LA and my brain went CA, California. Yeah, that's where they're performing. So that was all on me. All right. So Luke, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, you're muted. That's why.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
You are very soft. Let me turn you up as far as I can. You're not going through the Bluetooth, clearly.
I am speaking.
Yes. You are speaking. It's just soft. But that's all we got. So we can end this. This thing.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess there really isn't too much I can tease because Steve Goody's song is already live. So that was the song that went up yesterday. And Tuesday's song is by a new artist. So you're going to have to wait and see. And the Spotify playlist topic is lawyers and the law. And I updated that yesterday. So that's already live as well. So, Drew Jacobs is at drewjacobs.com. Joe J. Thomas is at joesdump.com. And that's going to do it for this. Let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice. He can't hear me.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say...